Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a divorce mediator in St. Louis, Missouri. I have the pleasure of discussing the future of litigation and online mediation services with Winter Wheeler, a prominent lawyer, arbitrator, and mediator in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's talk a little bit about your mediation practice. So we are in the middle of a pandemic and we are actively still creating information, even though we don't know the future. But how has your mediation practice changed with COVID-19?
It's like night and day. So, my mediation practice is actually very young. So I went full time as a mediator November the 1st of 2019. So my business is 1 year old. And so I was doing really well and I was so excited and things were great. And I'm a people person. So being a mediator for me is just amazing. I got to meet people all the time, got to hang out with new people every day. And then COVID hit and the city shut down. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And so thankfully, the firm that I'm affiliated with quickly pivoted online and we worked really hard to learn the Zoom platform initially and then learned other platforms as necessary. But my practice has gone completely online. I still offer in-person services, but my clientele has really only wanted to be online. So every time I get a booking, I check and I'm like, yep, it's by Zoom or it's by WebEx or it's by, whatever it is, but it's been virtual the entire time since March.
And there's some
So that's the big
efficiencies to it,
change.
right? I mean, there's some
Oh yeah.
efficiencies to being online. A lot of times, especially like you talked about doing some stuff having to do with domestic violence, but especially in those situations, we used to have significant protocols for a mediation of when people get there, how they get into the room, if there's a domestic violence issue, right?
Yeah.
How they leave, the protocols there was so much. And quite frankly, those parties didn't want to be in the same room or the same building together anyway. And you also have that in mediation. I mean, this is usually some conflict, and you have people that are like, I'm perfectly happy not to be with that person or that group, whatever it is. And so I think that it has flourished. I think for some of us who are doing a lot online anyway, it wasn't a far stretch, right? I mean, a lot of us do all of our back office stuff online. All of our communications are online. So it wasn't a far stretch. A lot of us already had Zoom. Like I was operating more on GoToMeeting and then everybody went with Zoom and I was like, okay, well, we'll do both. I don't know, whatever platform works for you.
Like whatever makes you comfortable, I am ready to do. It does not matter to me. I will use whatever platform you want to use. But no, it's true. It makes me think back to the last mediation I participated in as a litigator, as an attorney. And it was contentious. It was a big one. And I remember I arrived at the lobby of this huge office building, and it was the type where everybody had to log in, and you're waiting in line with all of these people, and my client did not want to see the opposing party, and I was like, sir, there is absolutely nothing I'm going to be able to do to prevent that unless we show up really, really early or try to coordinate with the other side. But we weren't getting along with them well enough to even try to coordinate that. And so, of course, we ran into them, or I ran into the other side, and I called my client and I said, don't come in yet. It was just ridiculous. And so on Zoom, I don't have to do that. I use my waiting room feature. I let people in as I want to let them in. So if I know that two people don't need to be together, they're not going to be together.
Mhm.
And so it's been great. It's been so much easier. And so
And now people know what Zoom rooms are, but they don't
yes.
know that we used to call them like caucus rooms. Like it
Right,
has a lot of
right.
features that really help facilitate what we were trying to do in person anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell people, and I have a book coming out about virtual proceedings and hearings, and it'll include a section on mediation. And I'm working with some really cool people on that. So look for that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of like mind mapping, I guess, the way that you would see, like, imagine yourself walking into
Mhm.
the office of like a mediation office or a mediation firm. Like, you walk in, you're in a waiting room, and somebody greets you and they tell you where to go. And
Mhm.
that's the exact same thing that happens, except it's a heck of a lot easier because you're like in your pajamas, maybe in your
Yeah.
house, and you log in, and then the mediator's there, and I tell you what you're going to do and where you're going to go and who you're going to see. And there's like very little work for the lawyer to do.